In this video, I share a telephone call that I had with a Georgia State Trooper and a park ranger, and let me tell you something, it did not go that well. Here's a little recap of what I'm talking about. A few days ago, Adam and myself went and pulled our 20th vehicle out of a local lake just 20 minutes away from my house. Now, we thought we were doing the right thing. This looked like an abandoned car. It still had the tires on it. It still had all the plastic in it. It was not gutted. It was missing the engine and transmission and probably the fuel tank and the master cylinder and stuff, but all the wires were still there, all the hoses were still there, and that to me tells me that that car is a huge hazardous material that needs to be taken out of that lake. Simple as that. We ended up pulling that vehicle out of the water, and we called the police, told them what we did. They came down. It was textbook right up until the tow truck guy showed up, and he told us he put that car there 15 to 18 years ago to be used as a training aid for local scuba diving teams from all around the state. Now, you could imagine my surprise when I heard that because of the condition it was in. I expected a training vehicle to be fully gutted, metal only, and even still, car paint is still hazardous. I just don't want cars in the lake or any of the rivers. Simple as that. They don't belong there. So let's jump right into this video. You guys tell me what you think at the end.
This is Jeremy.
Hey, Super White State Patrol, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
All right. We're going to talk to you about the car you got from Carter's Lake.
Okay.
What do you know about that?
We pulled the car out of Carter's Lake. That's what we know about it.
Did you just find it with sonar, or you just diving? I mean, what happened?
Yeah, we was out scanning the lake looking for cars with sonar. Found it at a boat ramp, so we decided to remove it.
All right. Well, we need you to put it back for us, please.
The tow company has possession of it right now.
They're going to take it back to the lake. And it's going to be next to that ramp that it was located next to. We dive on that for training. There's several teams dive on that for training that was sunk intentionally about 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's moved it since then. So when I called this morning, nobody knew about it moving. The ranger at Carter's Lake didn't know about it. DNR didn't know about it. State Patrol didn't know about it. But anyway, we got it worked out where Babs is going to take it back out to the lake. And they're coordinating with the head ranger over at Carter's Lake. And we would like for you to put it back where you found it. Can you do that?
Let me call you back. Because I have a little bit of an issue with putting hazardous waste in the river or the lake.
Well, I'm going to give you some hazardous waste. The engine's been removed. All the hazards have been removed off of it before it was sank 20 years ago, if you'd looked at it.
I did look at it, and I also saw tires on it, and I saw all the interior plastic was still with it.
It's a training aid.
Be that it is may, it's hazardous material that's dumped in the river or the lake.
All right. I'm going to give you the head ranger for the Federal Army Corps of Engineers that owns that lake, and they had it put in there and are aware of it. Okay? And you can discuss it with him.
Okay. Should I get the EPA involved, or?
I don't care who you get involved.
I mean, because
it was in the lake and you didn't have any reason to remove it, and now you're threatening us with the EPA on something that's been there for 20 years?
That wasn't a threat. I just simply think they should know what's going on. If I'm being forced to put something back that's not good for the environment, I think they should be involved.
I asked you to put it back where you found it since you moved it without asking nobody.
I don't have to ask anybody. This is removing waste from the lake. It's a public lake.
But it's not waste. It's a training aid. You understand what I'm saying? We train public safety divers on that. There's other public safety dive teams. That's how they do their certifications. That's how they get it. It's been there for 20 years. It was approved when it was put in by the federal government. It was inspected. It was stripped of what they said had to be stripped. And it was approved to put in the lake. And then you just decide that you're going to go out one day and remove it from the lake for no reason.
Well, I remove hazardous waste from rivers and lakes. That's what I do. And an abandoned car in the lake, how am I supposed to know it was a training aid? There's no markings, there's no signs, there's no gates.
No. That's why I'm talking to you about it.
Well, too little, too late. I mean, as far as I knew, it was an abandoned car.
Where you found it. We can put it back where you found it.
Well,
But since you took it out, I would like for you to put it back where we really don't have time to put it back where we found it whenever somebody just comes along without, I mean, at least ask the Army engineers that owns the lake, say, hey, did y'all know this car was in your lake?
It shouldn't be my responsibility.
Well, it's not your responsibility to go around diving and bringing up cars out of lakes either.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's just trash. And I'm removing trash from the lake.
I understand that. But now do you understand that it's a training aid for other divers, and that's where they get their certifications. And we use that boat ramp as actually a DNR-controlled boat ramp. It's not even a public boat ramp where you're diving at.
Well, I never stepped foot on that boat ramp, so that's irrelevant.
Okay. So do you want to put it back, or what do you want? Do you want to talk to the Federal Ranger? How do you want to go about this?
Well, I'd love to talk to somebody else because I don't have time to put it back. I removed it. It's supposed to be discarded of, and then I move on to the next lake to pull out another car to get it cleaned up.
Well, why don't you talk to somebody that knows stuff before you start pulling out cars that's been there for a long time?
Well, how come the VIN number didn't come back to you guys or some kind of training aid? It came back to the previous owner who owned that car.
It was a junk car that was stripped from the junkyard and put in the lake, probably before you even started diving.
Well,
so once a car is junked out, that VIN number always go back to the registered diver. I mean, the registered owner. It'll always go back to the registered owner until it gets crushed, and then still somebody find the VIN plate. It's still going to run back. It don't get put into obsolete, don't come back or whatever. It stays with the last registered owner.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would love to speak to somebody else because I don't agree that this car was stripped and is safe for the environment.
Okay. Do you have something where you can get this phone number?
Yes.
All right. It's 423.
Okay. I'll give him a call.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy, this is Alan Earhart with the Army Corps Engineers at Cars Lake.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I was just talking to Trooper White, and he said that you'd be giving me a call about the cars you found.
Yes, essentially, well, we definitely didn't agree on anything, and so he wanted me to give you a call and discuss it further.
Okay.
But I don't exactly, like, do you have any questions, or?
No, I'm just trying to kind of figure out what happened this weekend. Like, how did you get a call to come dive for this vehicle?
No, essentially what we do is we run a nonprofit that focuses on searching for missing people and removing hazardous waste from our rivers and lakes.
Mm-hmm.
And cars is a big part of it. And we find cars all over the place, and so we remove them out of the water because it's obviously hazardous waste. And this car was no different than any other car we pulled. It looked abandoned, old. We floated it.
The thing about that car is we had it fully stripped and approved through the Corps.
Mm-hmm.
For training purposes alone. That's the only reason that vehicle is in the car or in the water, is to allow our divers to go down and get the required training they need to be certified to be able to go in and do rescue diving.
I get you. What about, because my that was the whole issue that I was arguing with him about, was what about the tires and then the interior, all the plastics, foam, fabrics, all that? I don't know.
I mean, we have to have a place for our first responders to train.
Agreed. But I had no idea either. Like, there's no signs, there's no buoys, there's no...
Well, it's on a private ramp.
We never touched the ramp, that's the thing. We was
right.
On a boat.
It's in a restricted area, though.
The water's restricted?
No, in front of the ramp right there is part of the restricted area for the Corps Engineers and DNR ramp. It's not part of the public ramp.
Right. Yeah, we never used the ramp, though. So that's what I'm saying. I thought it was just an old car dumped back in the day. Because it was an old car.
So who'd you call? Who'd you report the vehicle to?
Murray County. We just called the dispatch, and they sent out a couple of guys, a sergeant and another officer. They never knew anything about it being a training car.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm getting the car back right now. That's the main thing I got to do because, of course, it cost us a ton of money to get everything certified on that vehicle to get it put in the water. So I've got to get that specific vehicle back. So I'm in the process of getting it delivered back right now. And I'm just trying to get it back in the water for our team.
That's wild. All right. I mean, I don't know because I don't know. I definitely. Obviously, the reasons we do this is because we're big environmentalists and we like to help and clean up the water, and that's why we pulled it out.
I've dedicated my life to conservation. I mean, that's what I've done for 17 years. That's what I'm at school for. That's been everything I do every day.
And then when we pulled the car out of the water, like it left a nice oil sheen on top, so there was still petroleum coming out of that thing somewhere, either in the transfer case or the differential, lube points, I'm not sure where, but so that's just, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago it was less stringent, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, it's just something that we've had to do and, that we've kept in place and had so many successful trainings that have saved lives. And so that's what I'm trying to do is get that back in place, just so we continue to make that effort to, protect and serve.
I got you.
So, I mean, I don't know what Trooper White had asked you to do on your end. I was just trying to figure out what kind of route you went to get it removed because the sheriff is aware of it. So I don't know if it was just some of his newer team members that came in. Because I talked to DNR this morning, because that's who typically, if anything has to be moved from the lake on a weekend and we're not in, that's who's going to get the first phone call.
Well, I know that Murray County, like it was a sergeant that came out there, and they ran the VIN number, and obviously it came back to the last owner that registered it. And then he called...
Did you run the VIN before you pulled it?
No, we couldn't get the VIN until we had it out of the water, because it was in the door.
Yeah.
But... yeah, let me see what else. And then the sergeant called DNR. I guess he knows them. They're buddies or something. And that particular DNR agent or whatever you call him didn't have a clue either. He was just he was under the impression too. He was like, oh, whatever. They was laughing about it, but he didn't say anything about a training car either.
Okay.
But yeah, Trooper White, he was kind of like demanding / asking, and that I need to put it back. And I told him I have a strong problem with that, and I wanted to discuss it with you first.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can get it back. I mean, it's one of those deals where we're going to have to pull it and resync it. It's just, a lot of effort on our end because we're going to have to get more divers in to do it. So.
Well, I wouldn't say we would have a problem helping like put it back, but I'd want to get a hold of the car first and like strip it completely. That's like pretty much my biggest problem with helping put it back, is because I know all the plastics and everything is still in it.
I gotcha. Well, I mean, we'll take care of it. I just my main concern was finding out what route had been gone through to get the car removed itself. That's because I can't believe they didn't call us before, and they floated it all the way over the dam site, over to the public ramp instead of...
Yes.
See, that makes no sense. Like why they did that without contacting the Corps first.
Well,
it's definitely anybody typically around the project would have known, that's in a secured area, at least a secure facility to the ramp itself, not secure waters. That's not what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But like to access that ramp, you have to go through 2 lock gates. And it's pretty evident, that's where the car would have come from, would have been from that ramp, not floated all the way across the whole cove.
My thought process was maybe that ramp 20 years ago or whenever that car went in the water, it wasn't gated off. That's why I thought it was an abandoned or a stripped car, like stolen. And somebody went down there and just dumped it off the side.
I gotcha. That's reasonable. No, I mean, I've got mad respect for what you guys are doing. I mean, if you can definitely help help the environment in any way.
That's all we're trying to do. I mean, we're not making a stink. We literally, this would be the 20th car we've pulled.
And this is the first time we've ran into this. All the other cops, DNR, everybody is ecstatic that we're doing this. We do it free of charge. You know, we're not asking for anything in return. We just literally like to help. Then the missing persons aspect of it, it's the same concept, because a lot of the missing people we search for are in cars that are underwater.
Oh yeah,
So
no question.
yeah, so we like to find the cars, clear them, and then get them out of the water.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I mean, the only thing for a learning process for everybody, and that's what I've told, because it's not just the state police that use it. I mean, we've got multiple county agencies that come in. Anybody that needs to come train, they use our facility there for any diving, just because we have one of the clearest lakes, you know, in North Georgia, that people can come in and see what it's like to be underwater to pull. You know, they put the rescue dummies in there. They float it up with bags, pull it all the way out, and do any process that needs to be done. So it gets moved constantly by these different teams that come in with recovery efforts. So it's been, I mean, I've been here for 10 years, and it's been in place for over 10.
Yeah, we put together that it was like, I guess that was
that's
put
what
in.
I was going to say. Just in the future, like if you go to at least a core project and you find something like that, at least notify, you know, the landowning agency first to see if there is something else going on with it.
So you think this problem, that we'd probably run into it more with lakes and less rivers?
Yeah, you wouldn't run into it in rivers, I wouldn't think. It's
Okay.
going to have to be a controlled environment. I mean,
Okay.
that's the reason it's in a cove, because like when they do dive schools, we buoy off that whole area. That way they can just go down. You know, they put the new divers in there. Just, I mean, if you're a diver, I know you know what it's like to actually try to work in that environment versus a swimming pool. Like,
Oh, yeah,
you
it's
can't get
totally
the training
different.
that you need unless you have a facility to utilize. So,
All right. Well, I get it. I just, the whole pollution thing is what had me bound up with Trooper White.
yeah, which we got all that covered. I mean, as it has been certified, and you know, kind of like we said 15 years ago, we used to use tires as the best fish attractors, and we used to, you know, plant autumn olive for wildlife management. I mean, Chinese privet we brought in to do all kinds of great things. So we've always made mistakes, especially, you know, with environmental agencies and so on and so forth. But this one has been approved, and I just can't believe y'all found it. I'm surprised. Because, I mean, all the fish, I mean, because how I found out was they posted it on the Carter's Lake Fishing Forum, and I troll all these forums just checking stuff about the lake, seeing what people are saying, and they're like, found the car, and it's like, oh my God, they found our car. And then the next thing I know, they were pulling it up. I wish I could have got a hold of you beforehand, before it all.
Yeah, this is literally
the
this is
towing company and have to move it back and forth. And
yeah. Well, I do apologize for that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a noble cause what we're doing. We're not trying to make your life hard.
no, true. I mean, like I said, I got mad respect for it. That's not my intent at all. I just really want to figure out if there's a way we could work together better in the future, maybe.
Definitely. I mean, if you guys ever do need help, like if there is a car that goes in, we're ready to float it and get it out. That's just what we do.
Okay, so y'all did bag it, though? Y'all are the ones that bagged it and pulled it?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, I know Babs don't have the equipment to do it.
No, we floated it all the way over to the public boat ramp and pulled it out there.
Okay, good. That's what I was trying to figure out, like who actually moved the vehicle. So that makes better sense, because I was like, Babs don't even have a dive team.
No, he just came to pick the car up. He was on rotation.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's just doing his deal.
Mm.
Totally understand. Do you care if I keep your phone number, and if we run into anything where we need environmental help with diving, would y'all be willing to come out and help us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, we have boats sink a lot that we need assistance with. Because the Corps, we only have one dive team, and it's out of the Nashville district. And for us to get divers here, it takes us about a month.
No, yeah, I live over here in Jasper, so we can help out anytime.
Oh, sure, right down the road. Good deal. Well, what's your last name, Jeremy?
Sides, SIDES.
That's okay. I'm going to put you in my contact list if you don't care, and just put you under divers. And
Okay.
if we run across anything, I'll have our guys give you a holler.
We're dabbling in land surges too, but our specialty is water. So
Okay, but y'all are removing things from land property as well, as far as vehicles?
not removing stuff, like basically like missing hikers and things. We try to get involved in searching for them too.
Okay. Are y'all just involved in the SARs from different areas, or?
We're private. I mean, we just kind of evolved into doing this our own. So, but we we help anybody that wants it.
Hey, man, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Awesome.
All right, man. Well, you have a wonderful day, and if you need anything, this is my work phone number, and then the other one's my private number. So,
Okay.
if you ever need anything from us, feel free to call.
I will. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
I give huge kudos to the park ranger. He was more than happy to talk to. He had a great attitude. The conversation was great. All right. It was informed. I told him my griefs. He got it. He understood. But apparently that car is going right back in the lake, which I totally object. I think it defeats the whole purpose of cleaning up the environment. I don't believe that car is properly stripped. But it's not. It doesn't sound like it's the ranger's his fault. It seems like doesn't seem like he's the one that makes the decision. That's how I felt. I don't really know. But either way, it was a great conversation. So if you guys do want to voice your opinion on this matter publicly to other people, I wouldn't go to the park ranger and give him grief, because he was professional. Now, the Georgia State Trooper White, he from the get-go, dude, he had a bad attitude. You know what? We butted heads immediately. And if he's watching this right now, man, do better, because your communication skills suck. But yeah, he wasn't hearing what I was saying. I wasn't hearing what he was saying. We wasn't going to accomplish anything. So that's why I wanted to call the park ranger anyways, because I wanted to have a nice discussion about why we removed the car, not be treated like a child, even though we're obviously doing the right thing. We're cleaning up the environment. We're doing it free of charge. You know, so I've never I don't know. You guys tell me what you think in the comments. It's very frustrating to think that we went through all of that to get the car out of the lake. And I'm pretty sure right now that car is back in the lake. And believe me when I tell you, I'm going to go back there. I'm going to find out. And if the car is placed back in the lake, you'll know about it. And there's nothing I can really do about it, because you know how it is. I'm just a guy with a camera. You know, I don't have any say in this, but maybe the right person will see this video. And I'm sure this isn't over, because I just have a feeling this isn't going to get dropped. But either way, make sure you subscribe to Wrecked and Recovered, our other channel, because that's where the video is going to be coming out. The full video of the car being pulled out. And it's not filled with drama or any other crap. It's a good, fun-filled video of us pulling our 20th car out of the water. So make sure you subscribe to that channel, subscribe to this channel. And until we meet again, my name is Jeremy. I will see you guys on the next video. Whoop!